Hello and welcome to Reporters. I'm Melissa Bell. Now, for nearly a century, Hollywood was a synonym for cinema. Of course, it referred only to the American movie industry, but for a long time, in terms of quantity, there was very little else. All that's changed, of course, these days. In terms of output, Hollywood's been pushed off its perch, coming in only third behind Bollywood and, more recently, Nollywood. On Reporters today, we're heading to Nigeria to take a look inside an industry that's taken off, becoming second only to agriculture in terms of employment in the country, with 2,000 movies made every year. Katia Picnic, Emmanuel Ostian and Stéphane Kenesh take us on a tour of an industry that generated $3 billion last year.
Nigeria's vast capital, Lagos, is the biggest city in Africa. Its 12 million inhabitants are mostly poor. Moving among them is Chioma, a rich producer, who's getting her chauffeur to drive her to a film shoot. Just another day in the world of Nollywood, the Hollywood of Nigeria.
So we're coming to one of these scenes right now in Chioma Nyewe's movie. She's a producer. Nollywood is very distinctive in the sense that our content is different. Our content is about us. So even as the movies get glossier, it's still the glossier side of Africa.
Today's scene has a classic Nollywood theme.
Action. Do it already.
Okay, watch me.
Two young women recline around a swimming pool, drinking wine and talking about love.
Just that he doesn't tell me things. He's so guarded.
Have you spoken to him about it?
I have.
What did you say?
I should give him time.
It's a stark contrast to the world of Islamist group Boko Haram, currently ravaging Nigeria's north.
That's the important thing. This is why we do what we do, so we can tell our stories. So the story is not one-sided. So the only thing we need to carry is things like Boko Haram and violence. And they carry from here, from Kenya, from the Middle East and all over the world. But even within that, there is joy, there's laughter, there's music, there's dancing, there's love, you know. And we always try, like with all of us, to paint a complete picture. So I mean, this is Lagos. This is still Nigeria. That there's violence in some areas. And then even within the violence, there's love. Within the violence, there's relationships. And we need to start to kind of tell the story that gives us the full picture. And this is what the film industry and Nollywood is really trying to do and portray.
Nollywood is the world's second most productive film industry, behind Bollywood, but in front of Hollywood. Films are often made on minuscule budgets, but producers, who are often women, can make great fortunes. Chioma lives in the wealthy Lagoon neighborhood, from where she runs Africa's biggest film festival. She has her own explanation for the phenomenon.
Nigeria is a fantastic place. So the men were busy scrambling for the positions in government, you know, because there's oil and they're the bosses, and they kept us out. So while they were developing themselves in government, we were sitting down and saying, okay, how do we do trade? How do we do film? How do we do fashion? So, you know, by the time the men woke up, we owned the whole sector. We had gone very far in all of this, and we owned it. We actually owned it.
Most of Nollywood's newly minted megastars are also women, like Kiende, who has worked her way to the top of the industry.
I'm great.
Today's makeup, what do you need it for?
Well, I'm in casual.
Okay.
Can you please write a picture of you?
Sure, of course.
Kiende became famous after acting in the Nigerian version of Desperate Housewives.
Perfection. Deception.
The rise of social networks then helped her fame to spread.
You know, they are the celeb. People, everybody, you know, focus on them. So they are very, very cautious. They don't want to go out looking all shabby or unkempt.
She interprets her role very, very well.
Oh.
Yes. Don't worry, I'm a stalker. You can't understand. But I don't make noise on Instagram, but I'm a stalker.
So you're a ghost
yes,
stalker.
I'm a ghost follower.
It's very important for an entertainer or a celebrity to be on social media because, one, for your fans, they don't get the opportunity to be in your everyday life. There it is. I can post that on social media right away.
I like it.
Kiende's gone from a poor background to riding around in flash cars and being recognized in the street. Her story is a true rags to riches fairy tale.
Whatever it is you are, you can go for your dreams and get it.
In a country plagued by insecurity linked to violent Islamism, these actors are among the few public figures able to unite most people. Nollywood's success has grown so great that actresses like Kiende have started to get parts in much bigger productions.
Nigeria, we ready.
Films like October 1, with a budget of $1.3 million, an enormous sum for Nigeria, and a big-name director.
This is an Nigerian Entertainment Award in New York. So this is from Hollywood Award in London. My target was not just Nigeria, as a market. My target was to do a film that anybody can see and can watch and would be willing, to watch. So to a large extent, a lot of young filmmakers in Nigeria, and even the older ones, now believe that, look, if you take extra effort in increasing the quality of your films and all of that, and your story is still good, then you stand the chance of cutting across more.
All right, quiet, and action!
Kunle Afolayan has even greater ambitions for Nollywood. He believes that Nigerian cinema will soon catch the attention of the American film industry.
I believe that in the next 10 years, Hollywood will move their studios, to Nigeria because, one, we have the market here, and also we have the stories.
However, not everybody has Kunle Afolayan's means. Most of the 2,000 films produced each year in the country are made in any way possible, on a shoestring, in the street.
Okay, my way enjoy the drive. Best way fresh, now very fresh man. I know seeing fresh past me now. I do what you think.
Abu, but look, I ask you something. What it come your plan? Cut. Beautiful. Beautiful. I will just take that.
This director has just returned from an internship in the US. Today he's volunteering to help shoot this film in a slum.
Where you going in here?
Okay, the next thing. But when I was shooting in US, I sat on my director's chair and I was getting up. There was a cable in front of me. So to avoid tripping over it, I just picked the cable. And the gaffer, the best boys, I'm so, boss, sorry, that's not your job. I don't want to lose my ordinary cable. But here you see, I can help my cameraman to pick his camera, to carry the camera. Here, you see what we're doing here? Nobody will feel insulted or abused or whatever. So there's specialization. Yeah, my assistant director.
There are no costumes here. They just turn their t-shirts inside out between scenes.
I have to costume myself.
I'm turning it.
And so it's nice. It's all black.
Hey, what were you doing on that land? Liar!
Once completed, this film will likely be watched by hundreds of thousands of people. DVDs can be found for sale everywhere at a low price. The Nigerian state gives funding to distributors because they believe that film raises levels of literacy. There's also another, more modern form of distribution. The 8,000 films hosted on Iroko, a sort of Nigerian Netflix, makes it the largest online platform. On top of that, Iroko also gives hands-on support to producers like Oki.
Cut the story short. This is what I need.
Yeah, this car, no problem. They use your car for the same. So you be in the car.
So we're good, man.
You're good. So that's
Oki has $60,000 to shoot his new film. If he wants to make a profit, he'll have to do it quickly.
Yes, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me buy a drink.
Okay.
The scenes are being shot at a frenzied pace.
Now you go front. Oh, yeah.
You don't need to go. You can start from here.
This time, it's the story of a con man who lives a life of luxury.
Are you fooling me? Or am I fooling you? Who's fooling?
It's another classic narrative in Nigerian cinema. The crew only have a few minutes to shoot each scene, the strict timetables putting Oki under stress.
You have to go back to that angle again. Yes. Please, speed there. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, action.
Hello, Mr. Heineken. And let me tell you something you don't have now. Because of this delay, you are going to pay 25% extra. But I'm going to thank you, Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Takes me about 1 month or 2-3 months, depending on how it goes. Just take the whole film. So there's no shooting 10 days, 12 days, post-production 2-3 months. I'm done.
Nollywood's success means that the cinema industry is now the country's second biggest employer after agriculture. Since 2010, it's also had its own awards ceremony, Afriff. With 10,000 spectators, 180 films this year alone, tight security and dozens of stars in attendance. It's a huge event that easily stands up to other cinema festivals around the world. Among the stars are Kehinde the actress and director Kunle Afolayan.
For me, it's just like Oscar, it's just like Cannes Film Festival, where you have films from around the world. This can pass for Hollywood or Tokyo or, somewhere, developed countries, So for me, I believe strongly that Africa is there, and Africa is the next big thing.
Gentlemen, welcome and good evening. Isn't Afriff wonderful? Isn't Afriff good? Everybody say, I love Afriff.
It might not yet have the global influence of Indian or American cinema, but around 150 million people now buy and watch these films every year. Nollywood is no longer just a film industry, but a pan-African cultural phenomenon.
Let's talk a little bit more about that report. Katia Picnic joins us here in the studio. Hello, Katia. Thanks very much for being here. Now, first of all, tell us a little bit about why Nigeria. One is tempted to say that it came from nowhere. There is some history, though, of course, of cinema making in the country.
Absolutely. We don't know about it generally, but it started back in the end of the 19th century, and it was very popular. And during the British colonies, cinema started to expand. And then when it was the end of the colonies, then the Nigerians started to tell their own stories and also to film their theater. So the Nigerians became used to watching movies, and there was this golden age of Nigerian movies. And then there was a decline, and then there was the small cameras on the market. So this started to go back, and they started to go back and to produce a lot of movies from in the 90s.
I mentioned the $3 billion figure from 2015. It's a huge figure, but a good proportion of that is black market. It's an important part of this story.
Yes, because once a movie is shot in several days, let's say several weeks if it's an important production, then it goes straight to DVDs. Sometimes it goes to cinemas, but most of the time it goes to DVDs. And then the pirates just take the movie from I don't know where, and they start to sell them on the market, unofficial markets, of course. So the money doesn't go back to the producers, to the actors, or to whatever production company. So that's why there's a problem here. And even the president, the Nigerian president, said he would try to do something to prevent this to happen. And also there's the VOD and also cinemas opening that will guarantee this money to go back, and so to promote more this industry and to help it.
What next then for Nigerian cinema?
They really aim to hit the international market. They're already played in the international festivals, and they're very ambitious. They really know cinema, not only their cinema, their Nigerian cinema, but also international movies. They want to reach these standards. So it happens. There are production with that cost several $1 million now in Nigeria. So it means that very soon they'll be everywhere. And they're very confident. They have the stories, as they said, the stories from their country that are very intense. So I know that at some point they will reach every market they want.
Are they hoping to grow internationally, to be more and more watched outside of the African continent?
Yes, they do. They do because they know they have, as they say, we have the stories, and they want to bring the stories everywhere. And Nigerian cinema is very interesting, and you really, you just want to follow these stories. And actually, they are in international festivals more and more, and you've got production that costs several $1 million now. So they're absolutely now capable of hitting those markets.
Katia Picnic, thank you very much indeed for having come in to talk to us today.
Thank you very much.
That's the end of today's Reporters. You can catch this episode and indeed previous ones, though, by checking out our website. Thanks very much indeed for being with us. See you soon.